Yo, what's up, guys? So I'm here looking at 1 inch right now, where there's a possible short opportunity coming up, like literally right away coming up. If you take a look at the bigger picture here, you're seeing that there's a channel that's formed. Okay, smaller picture, you see a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and a 5. That's really close to finishing. The 5 is like this: 1, 2, 3, 4, and that's probably a double topped 5. Right? So this is finishing up the fifth wave right away. So I'm just waiting here to kind of enter a short position, but I might enter it already. I think I'm going to enter just a little bit right now, just like 20,000 coins. The 1 minute is showing bearish divergence already, right? So it's getting extremely close to a short opportunity. I don't want to enter too much because I'm unsure of the count, and it might break above parabolically. So this is most likely the count somewhere in here, like somewhere in there, 3, 4, and there's a 5. So it's got to be really close to a fifth wave count already. This would be the support break, right? It's all about breaks this month and waiting for confirmation. So there we go. So it's going up right now, right? Good thing I didn't enter yet. So this is definitely looking like it's possible to do a parabolic rally. If you take a look at here, okay, if you take a look here, there's no divergence yet really, like bearish divergence. In fact, this is still going upwards, right? But this is definitely the three peaks. Wave 1, wave 3, wave 5 is coming up. So I'll post this just for now for you guys. All right, good timing. I decided to short this here because this support break broke. Okay, that's usually indicative of a fifth wave that's formed. Whenever you see a slow trend line like that break. Now the next trend line that needs to break is this one, okay? The next one that needs to break is the white on the bottom. I should make this yellow to make it a little bit more like that, okay? So the fifth wave definitely looks like it's in formation. So if I were to short this entire 5-wave structure, it would look something like that, okay? And I would be targeting a conservative 382 Fibonacci level. So 382 would give me a 4% gain here. And I'm playing a $32,000 position only. So very small position. I'm only leveraged times 3. I'm keeping it safe. I'm not over leveraging in any way whatsoever. So let's see if this is actually finished, this formation here. Very curious to see how this is going to play out. I think I won this trade here. Let's now hunt for some bearish divergence signs. Bearish divergence on the fifth wave. We find that here. Also on the fifth wave, we see a doji followed by another doji candle. So that's really good. Okay. So this is getting close to a potential drop coming right away. Let's see if this makes some sort of bearish flag. Nope, that spikes up there like that. Got some pretty heavy momentum to the upside. On the 1 inch, it doesn't look like it's letting up at all. On the 1 inch, on the 1 minute chart, doesn't look like it's letting up. See that? There we go. There we go. This is dropping on the 30-second. 15 seconds clawing its way back up here. So there's not really a lot of signs for it to drop right now. Like we see wave 1, wave 3. This should be a wave 5 finish. So wave 1, wave 3, wave 5 finish. Let's see if it drops now. Sometime soon. We are at this major resistance, right? Do you see this resistance on 1 inch? Bitcoin's been pretty bullish though, right? Bitcoin recovered, what, 3% here today? My public portfolio. It's on another one. I have to update it for you guys later. Yeah, so I recovered quite a bit today in my main. Actually, I'll just copy it over for my other one. Give me a second. Alright, I'm pretty confident about this trade now. I'm going to leverage times 4 only. Maybe 5 max. I'm going to add another 30,000. There we go. So I'd rather be in this position here. So 7 times 8, $56,000 position that I'm in right now. I think it's going to hammer down very nicely. It's going to break this right here. And I'm going to go for a quick scalp of about $900 to $1,000. Alright, the public portfolio. It's not loading, but let me see what I can do. Sometimes it takes long to load. I don't know why. There we go. So it loaded nicely. I was actually at about broken even. Right, I sold off 2 Ethereum yesterday at the high price. So now I'm up on every coin. Like Bitcoin barely, Matic is back up, right? I was almost at like only 1,000 up. Ethereum's doing all right. Cardano's all right. Polkadot's all right. They're all in the positive. Solana's all right. Cardano's delay of their what is it called, their Vishal upgrade, that's been delayed, so they're not really moving right now. XRP is down a little bit. Step App's down a tremendous amount. Overall, now I'm still up 3.7%, so I'm happy about that. So Step 1 inch, I'm definitely gonna be in profit, I think. Yeah, doing really well in this trade, up $400 so far. This is gonna be my only trade today. I literally had to run just some errands today, so my 15-year-old kitty is not doing the best right now. She's sick. She's 15, so she gets priority, you know? So let's see if this is going to break down here yet. They didn't quite break down. They got a recovery. See that bounce recovery? That was really nice for the bulls, but not good for me, of course. So now I just wait to see how this plays out. This might take a while for it to drop like any other coin when it reaches the top lately this month. So 5 waves are definitely in my opinion. Okay. So if all 5 waves are in, how could there possibly be another wave up? Right? It just seems like it. Just seems like there's definitely 5 waves. I'm just talking to my group, telling them that this is my count. This needs to break down. But it could go parabolic. That's what my group needs to know. Right? Like it could easily break down or break up. It could easily break up as well. Right? So they need to be very careful of that. So I'm just telling my group that I'm waiting for this break to come down, like right here, for it to actually break. Right? I entered a little bit early, but if my group wants more confirmation, this is what they should expect. They should expect a breakdown right here, and then once this breaks down, right, then they can enter a short position. So patience is more important right now than anything. They don't want to enter prematurely. They don't want to take the same risks as me because, well, I'm a little bit riskier than them, right? I would rather wait for my group to obtain confirmation before entering a short position. That's the better idea always. All right, we're getting some pressure coming down now. Up $100. This should break down. Like, I'm very confident about this trade coming to fruition now. You only need one solid trade a day, to be quite honest, to make some good money. I have a position of 70,000. Okay, I'll probably just target here at 78.19 and I'll be happy with this profit. I've got a lot of things to do personally today. I gotta attend to my kitty. The vet's coming back here tonight. She's got a tumor. She's 15 and she's a Persian. Persian's average lifespan is around 10 to 12 years and she's 15. And my lady's last Persian passed away when he was 14, just 3 years ago. So this is kind of hitting home again, right? So I've got to make sure that I'm available and take care of these personal things first. Family first, you know, that's always how it should be. Always family first. Especially when it comes to pets because they're so helpless. So now this is probably the final 5th wave coming in. Gotta wait. This is a big possible drop. I mean, a possible target can easily be something like 7.6 even. If I go for 7.6, I could be making $2,000 of profit here. So what I like to do is I like to lock my what do you call it? I like to lock my Fibonacci retracements. Okay. So there we go. So I'm gonna clue you guys in again. We reached that kind of a massive resistance here. Okay, it looks something like that on the higher time frame. It looks nice, right? Just like that. There's a channel. We're taking these formations, right? And now we're getting 5 waves. Whenever you see a formation, someone said to me in the group that this is hard to count. Yes, it is. Whenever you see a count like that, always assume that it's a fifth wave, or sorry, a first wave, okay? Always assume. And you know that in hindsight because the next wave is gigantic, okay? Because this next wave right here is gigantic, you can assume that that's a third wave, always, okay? So then this makes an A, B, and probably a C in there, in my opinion. And the next wave could have been caught easy as well, but I wasn't available for it. Usually these trend lines are very easy to play. You buy it on the breakout, you set the trend line support, risk to reward, your stop loss slightly below this trend line right here. And then there you go. And then this is probably a 1 in there, that's hard to count. This is probably a 2, like you just have to zoom out and take a look at it, right? Zoom out, take a look at it. And you can see that they don't subdivide exactly, but you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, and the 5, right? And we win this trade. So this is now dropped already 1.5%. We win. Yeah, we definitely win this trade here. I'm up $600 already. Perfect drop. We even see gapping. Gapping is this right here. Whenever you see a gap between the two candles like that, it usually means in some instantaneous moment, right, between the close and the open, the price actually changed a lot, and the amount of sellers, they didn't even sell in between those prices. What happened was the prices just changed, right? They lowered their price. Nobody bought in between that gap really until later, until the wick was actually shot up there. So that gap is really strong indication that the bears are overtaking right now. And we just have to be very patient with this trade. Don't look at it on the high time frame anymore, or low time frame. Look at it on the higher one. Okay, so I'm pretty confident of this trade right now. I see right here that the 5-minute chart's coming down. RSI bearishly diverging. MACD is crossing over downside. Okay. 5 peaks or 3 peaks are up. 1 peak for the first wave. 1 peak for the third wave. 1 peak for the fifth wave. As you move down on the time frame, because it's moving on a small time frame here for the, so you can't obviously identify it on a 15-minute chart because it's happened in too low of like too small of a period of time. You can't do analysis on this on a high time frame, obviously. So you got to move to a lower time frame. That's going to allow you to micro analyze it. So if I went to like a 2-minute time frame, for example, ARPA is going again. It's really wanting to go today. I got to keep an eye on ARPA. ARPA really wants to go today. Like it wants to run hard. So all of this is working out nicely for ARPA. I'm keeping an eye on that, definitely. So on 1 inch here, you have to go to a different time frame, right? So if you go to, for example, on here, you can see the 3 peaks. You can see 1 peak, 2 peaks, 3 peaks, right? Wave 1, wave 3, wave 5, right? On the 15-minute, you can see that clearly, right? So then if you go to, but if you want to see on individual time frames, like on each subwave, you got to go to a lower time frame. So this is wave 1, wave 3, wave 5. But if I went to a 2-minute time frame, for example, I can see waves 2, waves 1, waves 3, waves 5, right? On the very final 5th subwave. So then that's how I know that now all 5 waves are in, okay? All 5 waves are in already, and I'm doing pretty good on this trade. I'm up $500. I think it's going to go way lower though. So the Fibonacci retracement structure target should probably be around here, in my opinion. This will probably be the first bounce, slightly above the 382 Fibonacci retracement. I don't think we're going to get much of a support at the wave 4, sub-wave 5 territory. So because of that, I think it's going to break to the downside heavily, okay? So on the 1-minute time frame, it's already broken the 50 EMA very nicely here. See that structure? Beautiful that it's breaking down. So before it held bullishly above the 1-minute time frame on this particular subwave. But now it's going to probably end up getting a rejection. So let's just give this some time and see how it goes. So I've now got my support right here. That's going to be my close roughly. I might even go 77.35. Yeah, I'm probably going to take a more conservative because I've got to step away from the computer. And I'm going to put a stop loss up here too. So I'll put my buy right around there. Right here. Does that make sense? Okay, so this looks like it's just a small retracement upwards for now, but this should smash down. I will also put a stop buy. Okay, a stop market right here if the price all 70, if the price reaches above here, let's say 860, okay, 0.8060, I'm gonna sell it if it gets above that high there. Okay, so I'm now, you know, oh, what the heck? Oh, this is supposed to be a buy. My bad, my bad. I'm closing it. So there we go. So I put up a stop buy. This is what you got to do every time you walk away from the computer. You got to put your limit order for stop buy. So if it hits above the peak of here, I will automatically close my position for a loss of about 1%, right? But right now I'm going for a pretty good 3% profit on a $60,000 position. So I'm hoping to get a $1,600 profit here. All right, so update on 1 inch. I'm going to fill you guys in very quickly here. So that's definitely a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, that's a 5, okay? Whenever, hey Thomas, good observation when you said that this is hard to count, okay? That is always a very difficult count in my opinion as well. But whenever you see a move like here, okay, you see a move like that, and then you see something afterwards, always assume that that's a 1 and there's a 2 in there somewhere. So that's a 3. Okay? Always assume that that's the right way to do it. Okay, guys? So here's my position right now. I shorted it from the top. Like always. So I shorted it from the top. I did not wait for the breakout. But for you guys, I'm always going to make sure that you're safe. Because I take more risks than you. Okay? I take more risks than you guys. And I think it's better for me to tell you guys what I do. Like, so I said in the group right here, as you've noticed, right? Let me just show you in the Discord here. So my take profit's going to be around here. Does that make sense for the take profit? Above that resistance, and also slightly above that right there. So that makes sense, right? So I said to you guys that right here, okay? Look, I'll wait for support trendline break to enter. That's the best way to play it, in my opinion. Unless you guys are like, you know, playing with really good size, you can, and also your experience, and you can take risks, right? And you don't mind taking risks, and you have a reputation for stopping yourself out, and you're actually consistent, then you can do what I do, which is short it earlier, okay? Then you can short it earlier, and you don't need to wait for as much confirmation. Unless you've proven yourself, you cannot enter these types of trades that I'm entering, okay? You must prove it to yourself first. So I told you guys to enter on the breakdown, and you're up at least 2% on the scalp, okay? Does that make sense? That's why I'm not calling it earlier for everybody, because I know that people are going to stop themselves out, or they're going to get psyched out. Psyched out in English, for those that don't speak natively English, psyching yourself out means you psychologically like throw yourself off, right? So now you count yourself as a 1, a 2, a 3, a 4, and this is a clear 5, right? So the third wave is so parabolic that you must say to yourself that that's a 5. You can't look at this on, for example, a 15-minute time frame even. It's hard because this movement here happened in only 10 hours. Because the movement happened in 10 hours, it's really hard to look at it on the 15-minute time frame. So you got to move down the line, okay? You got to move down and say to yourself, all right, well, it happened in this small period of time, so I've got to look on a smaller time frame. And you can actually see the wave subdivision. This is wave 1 peak, wave 3 peak, wave 5 peak, right? So wave 1 peak, see that? Wave 5 peak, see that on the histogram? Sorry, wave 3 peak, wave 1 peak, wave 3 peak, wave 5 peak. Does that make sense? You also start to see the MACD cross over here, even though it's lagging. If you go to a 5-minute chart, you can also see the subdivision, right? Wave 1 peak, wave 5 peak, wave 3 peak, right? Now, if you want to see the subdivision in the final wave, go to a 2-minute time frame. Okay? Look at the 2-minute time frame. And what you're gonna see is something awesome. You're gonna see the subwaves in wave 5, subwave 1 in wave 5, subwave 3 in wave 5, subwave 5 in wave 5, which also coincides with this movement. Subwave 1 peak, subwave 3 peak, subwave 5 peak. Do you see that? At the subwave 5 peak compared to the third peak, you're seeing bearishly diverging RSI. So see this particular zone right here, right there, and there. You're seeing the subdivisions. See that? This peak and that peak. Wave 5 has a higher high. Wave 3 has a lower high on both histogram and on RSI. So because of that, you know that you're doing something really well right now if you decided to enter this short position with me during that break. So well done riding it, my team. Baby whales, great job. You're up 2%. I've got to go do some things, so I might just take my profit here, but I don't want to kick myself in the foot, you know, for entering or for getting out a little bit too early. But I kind of have to go, so I'm gonna take this profit here, $1,200. Spiked up a little bit, so I'll probably say about 1,100 profit that I took on there. So bam, guys, we did a really good job on this trade here. I called it in my Discord group really hard. So this was the call. This is my final 5th subwave count. I'm waiting for a support trendline break on 1 inch, going back on 1 inch. Whenever you see a formation like this, you see a first wave always. A third wave comes after that kind of formation. So you see this wave, right? It's hard to count. It's really, really difficult to count. But whenever you see this happen, followed by this kind of move, you can assume that's a 1 and that's a 3. Then the 5th wave, it's so nice the way it ended up forming here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Then if you zoom out on certain time frames, you can see all the peaks of the histograms. Wave 1 peak, wave 5 peak, or sorry, 3 peak, wave 5 peak. If you go to a 2 minute, you can count the peaks of the final subwave, right? Wave 1 peak, wave 3 peak, wave 5 peak. So because of how it's easily counted, so I'll show you guys again here. So this is the wave 1 peak, which coincides with the histogram. Wave 1, wave 3 peak, which is wave 3 peak on the histogram. Wave 5 peak, which is wave 5 peak on the histogram. So you see all of this coming down very nicely. A good target would have been around 77.02. Okay, but I've got to go run some errands right now and help out around the house. I might actually enter a short position if it gets a little bit higher. We'll see. How about that? So this was a really good $1,200 of profit here. It was the only trade that I've taken today. It's very difficult to take some trades when nothing has really moved up significantly today, right? So bam, guys, $1,200 with my group. Definitely consider joining my Discord group. Trust me, 4 months with me, and you're gonna learn so much. You're gonna learn things you never knew you even knew. Bam.